All right, guys, I am back, and same thing. I'm gonna show you guys how I want your notes. So name again goes over here. Date, so DT and period, right there. Now right here is gonna be substitution. I don't even know how to write substitution, and it's gonna be linear / quadratic. You can just call it qua if you want. So it's going to be linear and quadratic. Again, teacher, or this is going to be student and teacher. One side is going to be you doing the problems again, and the other one's going to be teacher. It's going to be me. You just copy down what I do. And that's it. That's how you're going to do it. I'm going to show you every time how I want you guys to set it up. Now, we're actually going to start doing a quadratic and a linear function. And guess what? This time, our equations are going to be, this is problem number 1. You're going to write your two equations. You're going to have x squared plus 2x plus 5. And then we're going to have y is equal to 5x plus 15. Okay, now what I want you guys to do here, first step, I'm just going to give you the first step and then you go. Combine them. Put them, equal them to each other. That's all I'm going to say. Your two equations, you're just going to equal them to each other because both of them are equal to y. So stop the video, try and do the problem, and then come back. Now, you should be done trying to do the problem by yourself. I'm going to show you what I would do. So first thing, I'm going to equal both of the equations together. Just like we did in the last video, we're going to take the same approach. We're going to equal them both to each other, and then I'm going to combine like terms. I believe that's a 15. Yes, that is a 15. Don't even know my own handwriting. Okay, that's my problem right here. I'm going to do my line, and I'm going to start, and I noticed that my x squared is positive, so I'm going to leave it on there. I'm going to move everything else, so everything on this side, I'm going to go ahead and move it over here. So I am going to start with the 5x. I'm going to do minus 5x over here. I'm going to do minus 5x over here. I'm putting it below the 2x because those two are like terms, so the 5x's cancel, and now we have 2 minus 5, which is negative 3x, and I'm going to bring everything down. So in the very front, we have x squared minus 3x plus 5 equals what? 15. Same thing, I'm going to do minus 15 on this side, minus 15. So now we have x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals to 0. Now we're done putting both of the equations together. The next step is using this equation, the new one that we just got. And we're going to have to solve for the factors. We're going to have to find the factors of that guy. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to do a little line right there just to separate what happened before and what's going to happen after. Going to go ahead, write the equation again. So hopefully I can write it better so you guys can really see what I mean. Negative 3x and minus 10. Now, first thing I want you guys to do, I want you guys to do your table like we always do. On the top, I'm going to put a times c, which in this case is 1 times negative 10 is negative 10. Now I'm going to have to figure out factors of 10. So 1 and 10, then 2 and 5, 3 doesn't have 1, 4 doesn't have 1, then 5 and 2. And I'm just going to stop right there. Now, there's two rules that if you guys remember, there's two different rules, right? First rule is that I need to get what? I need to be able to, if I multiply my a, which is this guy right here, let me highlight it instead. That didn't look so good. So my number, oh shoot. That's right there. So the number right here is an invisible one, right? And this number, they both, whenever I multiply them, have to give me the top number, right? But then the factors, whenever I add them, it has to give me the middle one. So whenever I add them, it has to give me the middle one. So if I multiply, I have to get -10. But if I add them, I have to get -3. So I'm going to have to look at my combinations of everything that I got here. And I'm going to have to figure out which one has to be positive and which one has to be negative. Now, I'm going to look at my factors. Right now, everything is positive in factors, meaning that if I multiply them, I do not get -10. So I'm going to have to make one side to a negative. So I'm going to do this one, and this one. Okay, now, whenever I multiply them, they give me -10. Now I have to focus on the second rule. If I add them, they have to equal to -3. So which one equals to -3? So let's do this one. I'm going to put the equal sign over here, just because I ran out of space on the other side. So -1 plus 10 is 9. So that one doesn't equal -3. Now, -2 plus 5 is +3. That doesn't apply either. Now let's look at the next one. -5 plus 2 is -3. So guess what? We just found the two factors that we're going to be using here. Because we found that one. I'm going to go ahead and change this one to that. Change this one to that. Now I know I'm going to be using these factors. So I'm going to start setting up my factors. So I'm going to put parentheses. And you always put x first, unless we go over different problems, in which hopefully later we explain whenever you don't put just an x. But for everything that we're doing so far, you always put an x first. Then I'm going to put both of my numbers. So -5. And for the 2, I'm going to put +2. Now we're done. We're done with our factors. Now we're going to keep going. And I need to find the value for x. So I'm going to equal both of them to 0. So x minus 5 is equal to 0. And over here, x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now all I have to do is solve for x. -2 minus 2, which is x is equal to -2. And over here, we're going to do plus 5. Plus 5. So we get x is equal to 5. All right, we got 2 of our answers already, right? Now, the only thing I need to figure out now is the y value for each one. Because I find the x, but all of those have an x value. So I'm going to go up here, and I want you guys to look at your original equations. So it's this guy right here. And it's going to be this guy over here. Now, it's up to you which one you want to use. But I'm looking at the second one, and I think I'm going to use that one because I think it should be easier. So this one right here, that one right there, that's the one I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and write it on the very bottom. So it's going to be 5x plus 15. So y equals 5x plus 15. And guess what? I'm going to do the same thing over here. Y equals 5x plus 15. And you're going to see what I'm going to do. So this 5 right here that you see, that one, I'm actually going to plug it into the equation right here. This -2 that you see right here, I'm going to plug it into that equation. And I'm going to show you how it looks. So it's going to be 5 parentheses, 5 plus 15. Now, what is 5 times 5 is 25 plus 15. So now the only thing I have to do, I just have to add them both. So for this one, it's going to be 5 plus 5 is 10, right? Then 2 plus 1 is 3, but you add one more, so it should be 40. That is my y value. So when x is equal to 5, our answer is going to be for y, 40. Right? Those two go along with each other. Now we're going to do negative 2. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. So y is equal to 5, negative 2, plus, 5 times negative 2 plus 15. So what is 5 times negative 2? It's going to be negative 10 plus 15. Your answer is going to be y is equal to 5. And that's going to be your answer for the second one. And that x, negative 2, goes with that y. Okay, I just want you guys to see that. That's why I did it the way that I did it. So that's the first one. Now we're going to go to the next problem. I'm going to write it out and you're going to try it yourself. I know it's a lot of work, but hopefully it gets a little easier on the second time around. So same thing. This is problem number 2. And we're only going to be doing 2 problems per video. So I'm going to write my 2 equations for the system of equations. So I'm going to go ahead and put negative x squared plus 7x minus 16. Then the second one is going to be y is equal to 4x minus 20. Alright, stop the video, try and do it yourself. I'm guessing you're back. So, again, first thing I want to do, I want to put both of them together. Negative x squared plus 7x minus 16 is equal to my second equation. So 4x minus 20. Now, over here, I want you guys to look at this x. It's a negative. So I don't want a negative exponent or like a negative on my x squared. That's what I meant to say. Which is, I'm actually going to start with that one. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do my line and my equal signs. And I'm going to start moving stuff from here to this side. So plus x squared plus x squared. So my x squareds cancel out. Over here, nothing can combine. So I'm just going to rewrite everything. Highest exponent to lowest exponent. Minus 20. Alright, perfect, right? Pretty easy so far. Now, what else do we have? We have the 7x and the negative 16. So I'm going to drop them down. We didn't do anything with that, so we're just going to bring it down. Now, I want to bring my negative 7x. Or that 7x, I want to move to the other side. I'm going to do minus 7x. Those x's cancel out. And now, what are we left with? Negative 3x, right? Minus 20. And x squared on the very top. Equals what? Negative 16. We're just going to bring the negative 16 down. And the final thing I need to do, I need to do plus 16. Plus 16. And this is going to be our final answer. It's going to be 0 over here is equal to x squared minus 3x minus what? 4. Now we got what we needed. I'm going to do it line just so I can separate my previous work. And I'm going to start by writing what I got at the very end. Minus 3x minus 4. Oh, again, over here on the right, I'm going to do my table. What goes on the top? A times C. So A times C is going to be what? 1 times negative 4. And I'm going to highlight them so you know what I mean. So 1 times negative 4. So that's your AC. It's going to be negative 4. Now I need to find factors of negative 4. So it's going to be 1 and 4. 2 and 2. And 4 and 2. That's all I have to do. Now I have to look at the second rule. Oh. My second rule says, like, if I add both of my factors, meaning this guy's right here, if I add them, they have to give me negative 3. But before I go ahead and start adding them, if I multiply both of them right now, you're going to notice I'm going to get a positive 4, positive 4, and positive 4. Which means that in order to make into a negative, I'm going to have to make one side into a negative. So I'm going to make the first side into a negative. Now I'm done with that. Now what I have to figure out is whenever I add them, what do I get? So the first one, negative 1 plus 4 is going to be positive 3. Now, negative 2 plus 2, 0. Negative 4 plus 1, negative 3. So I'm pretty sure you already figured out which one we're going to be using, right? Yes, this guy's right in here are going to be the one that we're going to be using, because if I add them, it's going to give me a negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and start writing my factors. First one, second one, x always goes first. X always goes first, and then I'm just going to be plugging in my two values. So one of them is going to be negative 4, and the other one's going to be positive 1. Now, I already got my factors. Now I just have to figure out what x is. So I'm going to write them out, and I'm going to equal whatever's inside the parentheses into 0. Equal it to 0. Then we're going to have x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, now we just solve for both of them. So it's going to be plus 4. So the first one is x is equal to 4. Second one, minus 1. X is equal to negative 1. There we go. Now we figured out my x values, right? I have to go back to my original problem. Which, we have to go quite a long ways, right? Because we did a lot of stuff. We did a lot of work. We figured out our factors. Now we have to go back. And I have to look at my two equations. And I'm going to highlight them for you guys. Oop. This one. And this one right here. If you're guessing, I'm going to use the bottom one, this one, because it looks easier to use. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one. So it's going to be 4x minus 20. I'm going to write it. Y is equal to 4x minus 20. And y is equal to 4x minus 20. All I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute this 4 with x. Same thing, negative 1 with x. So it's going to be y is equal to 4 parentheses, negative 1 minus 20. Now I know if I multiply those two, I get negative 4 minus 20. Y is going to equal to negative 24. Now the second one, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Y is equal to 4. Oh my god, I did it wrong. Oh my god. I didn't realize I did it wrong. So let's go back. I did it wrong. Let's do the first one again. I didn't realize what I just did. So it's going to be 4. It's going to be y is equal to 4, parentheses 4, minus 20. Now 4 times 4 is 16, and positive 16. minus 20, which is going to be y is equal to what? Negative 4. Okay, now that makes more sense. Over here, we're going to do y is equal to 4, parentheses, negative 1, minus 20. So 4 times negative 1 is going to be negative 4 minus 20, which is y is equal to negative 24. Now I'm going to highlight this one, this color, and this one, this color. Then I'm going to color the other one blue, and this one blue. The reason why I'm doing that is I want you guys to know that those two go together. That's why I'm coloring that way. I know this is a lot. This is probably going to be the hardest one and the longest video, hopefully. The other one should be relatively a little bit smaller. Alright, that's it. As long as you took all the notes, you should be good. It's a lot. I know it's a lot. But the thing is, I want you guys to get that practice being able to see it one more time. Hopefully you guys are able to understand it. If not, that's fine. We're going to get there eventually. And I know we are.